This is Strawberry Ink. I'm Santiago, and today's story is one that shocked the Midwest and devastated a community down south. This community never saw it coming. The victim here, Mollie Cecilia Tibbetts, a 20-year-old University of Iowa student full of energy, promise, and gone far too soon. On August 9th, 2018, Mollie Tibbetts went out for a jog in the small town of Brooklyn, Iowa, and never came home. Her disappearance launched a search across the entire region. Flyers went up. Police and volunteers combed the fields. The case felt frozen in time until a single lead changed everything. Iowa is a pretty chill place. There are mostly local shopping center exurbs, a few suburbs, small cities, farms, and in some areas, minor league baseball teams. However, due to it not being a tourist place, when crime occurs, it's usually done by locals. Cristhian Bahena Rivera, a farm worker living in the area, who had broken to the country illegally for work, was spotted by Poweshiek County investigators driving near where this girl was last seen. When approached, he did not run. He spoke to police and then confessed. According to deputies, he admitted to kidnapping Mollie and killing her. He complied with the deputies, allowed handcuffs to be put on his hands, and was taken to their headquarters. There, it was confirmed that he was the suspect of this girl's disappearance. Therefore, he was afterwards booked into jail on a first-degree murder charge. Authorities located Mollie's remains in a cornfield outside of Guernsey, Iowa. This was thanks to the suspects speaking. The Poweshiek County Coroner's Office took possession of the body and confirmed her identity using DNA testing. An autopsy revealed what no one wanted to hear. Mollie had been stabbed to death. Therefore, this was officially a murder. Cristhian, the suspect, appeared before Magistrate Diane Johnson of the Poweshiek County District Court. He wore white and black. Those were the colors of his jail jumpsuit. In this hearing witnessed by so many in the community. He sat next to his public defender, Alan Richards. Magistrate Johnson denied him bond and ordered that he remain locked up awaiting trial. Assistant Attorney General Scott Bree announced plans to take this case to a grand jury in order to include more severe charges. A grand jury at that court therefore reviewed the evidence and upgraded the murder charge to capital murder, a charge that in Iowa means life in prison without parole, as Iowa has no death penalty. So if Cristhian were convicted, this was the only outcome. Cristhian refused a plea deal. He insisted that he wanted to go to trial. Therefore, his defense attorney, Alan Richards, caused a storm in court, criticizing President Trump and pointing to anti-immigration rhetoric as unfairly influencing the case. He called Trump offensive due to his public comments and actions against illegal immigration. Because of these politically charged remarks, Richards was removed from the case. In his place, public defender Jennifer Freese stepped in and stood before Judge Joel Yates and entered a plea of not guilty. Yates ordered that he continue to remain behind bars to await trial. To ensure fairness, the trial was moved from Poweshiek County to the Scott County Courthouse, the district court. There, jury selection began on May 17, 2021. The party successfully seated a jury of 12 members and 3 alternates. Then, 2 days later, opening arguments kicked off. It was one of Iowa's mostly closed watched court battles in years. On July 18th, the jury delivered their verdict, guilty, despite motions for mistrial and acquittal that Judge Yates had rejected. About a month after this conviction, Judge Yates returned to the Poweshiek County Courthouse for sentencing. Cristhian Bahena Rivera was sentenced to life in prison without parole. There would be no reconsiderations in the months to come, no leniency. As of May 2025, Cristhian is serving his sentence at the Iowa State Penitentiary in Fort Madison. He appealed his case, but under Iowa law, those convicted of capital murder are not eligible for release during that process. Governor Kim Reynolds has refused to intervene. On October 11, 2023, the Iowa Supreme Court denied his appeal for new trial. The U.S. Supreme Court then declined to hear his case. Finally, the Innocence Project declined to take up his file on March 13, 2025. This case is closed and Cristhian Bahena Rivera will remain in prison, most likely on American soil, for the rest of his life. I honestly hope that if this El Salvador prison that Trump is working on opens up, I hope their president, Nayib Bukele, puts Cristhian Rivera inside the facility because he does not deserve to be fed in American soil after the gruesome crime he committed. This girl was just 20. The Smith Funeral Home of Grinnell, Iowa held a beautiful service for Mollie Tibbetts in Brooklyn. There was a viewing and mass at the BGM High School Gymnasium. She was cremated. Thank you for listening to this sad story. It is important to keep criminal, illegal immigrants and legal ones here to commit senseless, gruesome crimes out of the country. It is understandable if there is a true heartfelt motive, such as self-defense or seeking glory. However, things this cold and absurd are just so cruel. Till next time, take care and have a good rest of your day.